Today on Mr. Unappropriate, one rogue sociologist from South Belfast's look into the world of risks. I am the Dappy Conqueror, I am the bug catcher. Here's my thing this week, and it's all about taking risks. Sexual risks, risks of friends, risky conversation. My life seems to be a strange mixture of taking no risks or all the risks. And you'll find out. I made a promise to myself this year is going to be different. This year I'm going to take risks because I have an underlying belief that things are going to go wrong. And whenever you have that, you just tend not to do anything. You live this comfortable life of drinking beer, eating central sandwiches, slight weight gain, and you sort of sleepwalk through life. And I made a decision this year that I was like, no more of that. I'm going to take risks. I'm going to do what everyone else does instead of watching it from afar. And given the lines of my forehead, I looked in the mirror the other day and I saw the lines of my forehead, and I looked at my teeth and I was like, God, they're yellow. I was like, fuck, I've been doing this for a while, haven't I? So I thought, alright, I'm going to start this new risk-taking Nicholas. No more Nicholas Safety Wallace anymore. I'm going to start it by going down to this vegan cafe and just chatting to the first person I meet. The first person I met turned out to be this not Turkish lady, Kurdish. I literally found out the difference between the two. And we were talking for hours. Even though looks-wise I may not be that much to look at, I gave her gifts of the mind, you know. I had her, she ended up staying in my house, just sleeping on the sofa, mind. And I gave her one of my psychedelic tours around Belfast. And I ended up telling her stuff that I thought I'd forgotten. I ended up telling her stuff that I hadn't told anyone before. I'd kept my life very secret. Not a very trusting person. I'd kept it very secret and I kept it hidden. And all of a sudden this person just broke the dam. Time and space changed. Outside the window, the hours went past like minutes, and I felt really emotionally close to her because she was a Kurd, and it turns out it's these people that always get shat on by all the people around them. She had to go pretty soon, and I was like, oh my word, how am I going to let this person go? And but I felt emotionally close to her because I was like, well, I kind of feel like Northern Ireland's like that, you know. There's people in Northern Ireland that feel like they are shat on by the nations around them, and we love getting involved in other people's causes, and we're very passionate about stuff. You know, there's a lot of strange Middle Eastern flags you'll see up around Northern Ireland. And there was even of an Irish guy who got blown up in ISIS. And you're like, what the fuck is a Northern Irish guy doing in ISIS? But whenever we're doing it, we're in full whack. We don't go halfway into things. If we're supporting someone, anyone that's like the fallen people or anyone that seems besieged, we feel a connection to. People come over from all the different other Celtic regions and people feel connected to them. People feel connected to people in the other side of the world. For some unknown reason, even though half of Ireland's outside of Ireland, we definitely feel a connection to anyone that is besieged with trouble. We connect with the sick. 'Cause there's something that she can do. This heart is broken in two. Tell her it's a case of emergency. There's a patient by the name of Nickery. Night nurse, only you can quench this thirst. Syrian nurse, oh gosh, the pain's getting worse. I was enthralled. I was almost about to go over and join the Kurds, man. I was mesmerised at this person, and all through that conflict, when I was looking at it really detachedly on the news, I was like, God, these lads are just like, seem to be the only decent fellas in that region, and they're just hanging on there for dear life, holding on. And they also let their women in politics, very forward thinking. And they also have really sexy female fighters that have come from around the world doing uni degrees and stuff, came back to fight for them. So I went off with her to get the British passport and everything. And I didn't it's a terrible time to get a British passport, right as soon as Brexit's coming in. You almost had a gateway to all of Europe, and now you've only got a gateway to here, New Zealand and Canada, maybe. And I never knew you had to sing the British national anthem once you get your passport. I was finding out all these the questionnaires they make you say and everything, and all the questions they ask you about British history. I wouldn't pass. And I was watching her singing the British national anthem, and I was all like, "It's the most trippiest experience." But anyway, got that done, and she was having to get back on. She was going back on the bus. And she was like, "Well, do you fancy?" Well, she lived in Enniskillen, and I was like, "Well, what is someone doing from Kurdistan living in Enniskillen?" And I always thought that maybe she had bumped into someone in Kurdistan who was a guy over there teaching English, and he was from Fermanagh, and he told her that Fermanagh was the capital of Nova, and that everything happens there, and really it's like our south of France. It's just rain, lakes, and pleasure seekers. So she was over there, and she was saying that come on down to this poetry night in Fermanagh, and I was all like, "Whoa, am I gonna go down to this poetry night?" Do you know what I mean? Because I have relatives in Fermanagh. I can't really. They're all very Christian. I couldn't really roll back up to their house drunk. Fermanagh is an interesting place. It takes you about 2.5 hours to get the bus there, but you can drive there in an hour and a half. And the bus starts doing U-E's and turns off the motorway. It stops in all these holes in the hedge. Balnarrat, Balnaku, all these Viking names of all these small wee last outposts in the middle of Ballygo backwards. And every, a piss hole in the snow. And it takes forever. It goes around the world in 80 days, and it takes forever. And I kept on seeing the same towns again. It passes the two towns twice, and then you go to Enniskillen. So by the time it actually gets to Enniskillen, you're so broken down or drunk. It's best enjoyed with a bottle of Bugfast, to be fair, right? And there's also something that feels class drinking a bottle of Bugfast on the bus, getting all these dirty looks by people, and you're like, "Yeah, that's right. I'm drinking fortified wine on the bus. That's right. That's where my life's come to." And the old Nicholas would have been all like, "No way. I'm not going on a whim past half an hour from my house because I've been trapped in the countryside before. I'm not going." But new Nicholas was all like, "You know what? I am going to go. I am going to take risks." And I jumped on a bus down to Enniskillen. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Will Nicholas be successful for once? Oh, you'll have to find out next time in the next installment of Mr. Unappropriate. This is just the end of part 1. I broke it up into wee chunks because I think the story all in all, even though I put my friends through it in its entirety, I think it's a bit much. So I broke it up part 1, and there'll be a part 2, maybe a part 3, we'll see. Goodbye.